Good evening, Dhamma friends. Let me wish you all happiness and peace at this moment and all the in moments you are going to, uh, experience in this life. It is Saturday evening for us, and we are going to begin this evening Sutta studies for further understanding of the Dharma, which is necessary for us for our attainment to peace and happiness. Let me pay our due respect to the Supreme Buddha to start with. May the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem be with all of our friends in the Sutta study class, and whoever listen to us later, may they also in the loop, spiritual realm, and may they be well, happy, and peaceful. With that thought in mind, let's join together to pay due respect to the Supreme Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I pay my homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dhamma friends, in today's Sutta studies, we are going to focus three factors in Paticca When we consider Paticca it has 12 links, and discussing these 12 links is a huge task because it takes time, but we managed to take a number of points for each class and cover the essence of the Dharma in those factors of Paticca. You are warmly welcome for today's class. I hope you become happy about this 1 hour session at the end because of the opportunity to understand the Dharma and practice it in your mind for the benefit of you and everyone. So the sutta we have been discussing is Sammaditthi Sutta. One of the wonderful qualities to take and realize for mental peace and happiness. In that, we went on each factors of Sammaditthi on the first day, and some qualities of Sammaditthi or the ways of Sammaditthi were discussed. Last week, I didn't conduct the class because of the program I had in Mississauga and here. But before last week, we were able to cover second part of the Sammaditthi. Today, I would like to take three qualities together. They are feeling, Vedana, and Tanha, craving, and Upadan, the clinging or grasping. It could also be attachment. These are the three aspects of Sammaditthi we take for today's discussion. As you know, these are very important elements of Paticca formula. When we take these qualities or the aspect of mind as single aspect, we can discuss a lot. Feeling, Vedana, is one of the aggregates of the 5 aggregates. It is also covering a main section of meditation, Vipassana meditation, I would say. And then feeling is also a huge topic in the Buddhist philosophy, because Vedana, the way we feel, is a key thing for doing all kind of things, not only by humans, but other living beings. So if one understands the feeling as it is, he is going to understand everything. That sort of thing is Vedana feeling, and we are going to understand it from various levels. I hope you can bring nice ideas based on suttas and your own experience about feeling, so that this discussion is going to be a fulfilled one. Vedana, as you see in Sammaditi Sutta, is another approach to Sammaditi. This is how it says, Bante, Venerable Sariputta. Friends, when a noble disciple understands feeling, the origin of feeling, the cessation of feeling, and the way leading to the cessation of feeling, in that way he is one of right view, and he has arrived at the right Dhamma, true Dhamma. So feeling should be understood as it is. If we take it as singular subject, feeling should be understood as it is. And then the origin of feeling, how feeling arises, should be understood. And the way the feeling should be seized, should be understood. And the part to seize the feeling should be understood. So you see that Paticca Four Noble Truth formula is being used to explain the feeling in order to fathom the Sammaditi based on feeling. So what is feeling? That is the question we should ask first. It could also be sensation. The English term sensation is being used for feeling by many people. The sensation, as I understand, is the way the senses produce the experience of the senses, and how the mind feels. It is called sensation. The same thing as feeling. I think the Pali word Vedana is rich more than those English terms, in my understanding. Because Vedana, from the cultural point of view, when we say Vedana, particularly people mean the negative side, Dukkha Vedana. But the Buddha's way of teaching with the Vedana is not only the unpleasant feeling, it is generally all kind of feeling. So by adding Sukha, Dukkha, Adukkamu Sukha, pleasant, unpleasant, neither pleasant nor unpleasant, so you can see the difference. Otherwise, Vedana is the common term for all kinds of feeling. So that is the first thing you need to understand. So Vedana is always attached to the senses. Chakku sampassaja Vedana. The feeling born from eye contact. Chakku means eyes. Sampassaja means through contact. The feeling born through contact through eyes, or whatever you see. So you are going to have that contact in that process, and the feeling arises from there. So that is what that is how feeling arises, attached to the based on eyes, then based on ears, based on tongue, based on the nose, based on the whole body, based on the mind. So the feeling, the origin of feeling, when we talk about the origin of feeling, the origin happens there. Senses should be active, and the function of the senses should be active. And then when the sense and the particular sensory objects meet the eye consciousness should arises, and then the process already is called contact, passa. Then there the feeling arises. There is no time gap. It happens very soon. So therefore, the feeling is manifested. Feeling is born. So the feeling is such, and the origin of feeling is said to be like that. feeling born of eye contact, feeling born of ear contact, feeling born of nose contact, feeling born of tongue contact, feeling born of body contact, feeling born of mind contact. That is how Venerable Sariputta explained. So the feeling arises in the eye, in the sense as a whole, and the immediate process for feeling to be born is between the contact between senses and sensory experience. So now, from wisdom, we can understand that if feeling arises in such a way, there is a way to stop the feeling. Actually, when we say ending feeling, it's not the particular basic feeling we end. When we talk about the ending of feeling, we do not touch that particular sensory the feeling attached to senses, but we stop the mental reaction to the feeling, to the physical feeling, the feeling born of eye, feeling born through ears. They are all connected with the mind. Last time we talked about the presence of the mind in terms of consciousness, mind consciousness, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, tongue, body, nose. They are all come to exist just because of the connection of the mental consciousness. Manovinyana, without manovinyana, it's difficult to think about the other vinyanas exist. So anyhow, we talk about the participation of the mind for all these contact. And when mind is geared by ignorance, mind is geared by craving, there you get this feeling polluted. So that is that feeling when with the seed of craving, with the seed of ignorance, I would say, attachment might arise. So the important thing is that now you see feeling is coming from this way, and if things arises in such a way, there should be an end of it as well. In other words, yankinchi samudaya dhammam, if you say certain things arises based on condition, there you have the answer that this is going to end because it arose with conditions, and when conditions are gone, the particular thing should also go. If Vedana is coming based on reasons in the senses, there where the feeling those reasons should dissolve. For example, if this is a very simple example to understand the thing I say. Suppose you close your eyes, now you don't see. You don't worry about anything. But when you open your eyes, you see people going here and there, and they make the whole ground is a mess, and they laughed, and you can see all these things from mind. So long you kept close your eyes, you didn't have any problem. But soon as you open your eyes, you see everything, and you become angry. So where this anger came from is from the sensory experience. You open your eyes and you saw the things, and then your consciousness and everything come together to make something out, and that's called unpleasant feeling. So you due to unpleasant feeling, you had anger. So this is a kind of very simple example to show that anger is a bad feeling, and it came from with causes and conditions. How about if you never open your eyes and kept closed for a certain period, so you don't get angry because you have closed the door for unpleasant feeling. What I'm saying is that feeling is condition. That's what I all wanted to say. But we tend to forget this when things happen to us in a normal setting of our life. We try to feel happy. We try to be pleasant. We try our best to make everything doable, possible, favorable, and so. That's mean underlying tendency over there is greed, desire. So you want everything to be perfect, which is a pleasant feeling. But the world is not like that. It gives us the situation gives us bad feeling as well. You try to be warm enough in out of the house when you walk out, but it doesn't happen even though you wear some clothes. You get something you never expect. Suppose likewise, we get unpleasant feeling even though we try our best to be pleasant. Always unpleasantness arises. It is the nature of mind. So that the greed might arise in us as a way of feeling. What I'm saying is that the cessation of feeling, when we talk about that, we first stop the craving out of feeling. So if you stop craving for feeling or likeness for feeling, you are not going to worry about particular feeling, physical or mental. So when we talk about the cessation of feeling, we can talk about the cessation of conditions for feeling, and then the way to end the feeling, we have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. So the conversation is done with Venerable Sariputta there about feeling, since Venerable Sariputta answered the questions about feeling in Four Noble Truth formula. So we see that bhikkhus were asking another important elements of Patissampada. So feeling, as you see, seems easy to understand, but in practical aspect, it's very difficult. The other thing is that is one of the clear meditation objects for many people, because you are dealing with feeling. Feeling. When you sit for meditation, you consider the feeling aggregate. So then you see it there. So you deal with the feeling, and then between the mind and feeling, I would say you have a struggle. So anyhow, feeling, as the Buddha said, is categorized into many two kind of feeling. Then we talk about pleasant and unpleasant, three kind of feeling. We add neutral feeling into it. Then 5 type of feeling. Then 6 type of feeling. Then 18 kinds of feeling. Then 36 kind of feeling, and the maximum categorization of feeling is 108. It is in Atta Rasa Paryaya Sutta, and also I think there is a sutta in Majjhima Nikaya called I cannot remember the exact sutta. So there is a sutta which explains the feeling as a whole, and you can see that even in Satipatthana, the feeling is discussed as a foundation. So this is what feeling is. When a noble disciple has thus understood feeling, the origin of feeling, the cessation of feeling, and the way leading to the cessation of feeling, here he makes or she makes an end of suffering. So to end suffering, one of the important things we need to understand is feeling. It is very true, because whether you suffer or not is decided by the way you react with the feeling. Suppose you have pleasant feeling, you quickly understand this feeling is impermanent. So I should not be overjoyed any type of feeling too much, because next moment you will be unhappy over pleasantness you had. So such things happen for us in practical sense. The best thing as a meditator, as a follower of the Noble Triple Gem, what you can do is checking your feeling. This is called mindful attention, or sati should be working as effect to check feeling. So unless you practice sati and wisdom, or what you call samadhi, and also perseverance, the way you reflect feeling and the time gap here, time you reflect feeling would be very less. So for us, the Buddha asks us to be mindful about all kinds of feeling, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, it doesn't matter. Understand this is something conditioned. Anicca is visible, impermanent is visible in feeling, because what we didn't have that feeling before, but as soon as we open eyes, we feel better, we feel joyful, and then after a few minutes or few hours, that feeling which came several hours ago is gone. So you see impermanence on feeling. Impermanence on feeling. That is one thing we need to train our mind. And then impermanence on unpleasant feeling, impermanent on neutral feeling. We can talk them in details in Chula Vedala Sutta, where Bhikkhuni Damadina and her former husband were discussing about this interesting subject in details. Because the feeling is everywhere in each state of life. In average human, they have feeling, they deal with that. And when you go to jhana, how do you feel jhana? That is through feeling, Vedana. And then you go further up to the formless jhana, and when you enter into the sanya Veda, that there you cease feeling. Of course, that feeling that connect with the senses also. So the sanya Veda nirodha, the attainment to the cessation of feeling and perception, both feeling and perception have been stopped, its function, so that is the only place that humans can cease feeling. Other than that, feeling is a main subject. So what I wanted to show you, that feeling is going to be in each stages of enlightenment as a focus. So it is impermanent. So if feeling is impermanent, no matter how pleasant it is, do we need to become joyful and that this is mine, this is it was me over there and I enjoyed it very much. So when you say this, it's okay from the mundane sense, but when you come to absolute teaching, there you address nothing but your kind of belongingness, ego mind, because I enjoyed it very much. Who is I? We talk about this in details some time ago. I is a collection of four elements and 5 aggregates, and also senses, skandha dhatu ayatana. So this has the nature of moving too. That's why a newborn baby is going to be a big, huge human in after 25 years. So what you brought as elements is changing always, so that only the first thing you could see is impermanence. So then wisely analyze that if this is impermanent, which means if things arises due to causes and conditions, there shouldn't be a person there in it to control. No, there is no such thing. So that what is impermanent is definitely going to suffering. And when things are impermanent and subject to suffering, how could I own it as me and myself? There is no point. It's very foolish to say this is mine, that is not mine. This is the thing I love so much. When you better use them in a normal society, but understand that when we use this concept, we make things little complicated. So that in order to understand feeling and do with it, we have to understand the 3 characteristic of everything, including feeling. There you have a very nice, kind of analysis there. So quickly go to the other aspects, and I allow you to share your insight. After feeling, if we take the descending order, starting from avijja and sankara and so forth, after feeling, what we have is craving. But in many suttas, the way the discussion goes is from jara marana, even in Sammaditi Sutta, I guess. So, but here we go the other way around. Feeling, based on feeling, depending on feeling, together with feeling, what arises is craving, tanha. So now you see the connection. If you understand feeling or vedana as it is, what you are doing then is, dealing with tanha. Because when feeling arises, immediately tanha arises. Tanha is the kind of, Nandi raga. You become happy with something, Nandi, and then you attach to it. First you like it, then you attach to it. First you want it, after that you tied it, you kept it tight. So feeling, therefore, is the main thing for tanha to arise. Tanha is nandiraga, as I said. So first you like the feeling, then you grow it well. So in terms of meditating on this, monks and nuns and lay people who took the subject of Vedana for their meditation, they stay a long period in checking this feeling. Suppose the air which goes from here, what is happening there? So we focus the feeling. There's a sensation. We feel the air here, and it goes in all the way to the lungs and come, release back. So they are all about feeling, right? So you can focus that. Some people sometimes asked this question about four foundation of mindfulness, Satara Satipatthana. What is that question? Can we practice mindfulness on body, mindfulness on feeling, mindfulness on mind, and mindfulness on mental state together at once? I would say yes, because suppose you take a meditation subject from the first one, the body. For example, you take 32 parts. Okay, 32 parts of the body, starting with body hair, head, hair, and so on. So when you take this meditation subject, which is recorded in Kayanupassana, mindfulness on body, you feel the body parts. For example, you say, oh, my leg, your leg. So now our mind is with the leg. So therefore, when you take any subject of meditation in Kayanupassana, you quickly you should actually, in my understanding, be mindful about the feeling. Because feeling is one of the dangerous, in one way, it is one of the dangerous aspect of the formula. And unless you understand feeling as it is, there is no chance of getting rid of craving, because the chain is going like that. So tanha, therefore, is the result of feeling. And in order to treat tanha, you have to consider Vedana also. What I'm looking for. Do I need that? So you can ask questions from yourself each and every time. And sometimes you find, things would be better with regard to feeling, particularly meditation. So Goenkaji, one of the famous teachers in our era, took the Vedana and Upasana as his meditation subject. And whatever he did in the world, basically meditation, that is mainly about Vedana. So Vedana Pariggaha Sutta, the sutta the Buddha delivered to Venerable Sariputta's, cousin brother, Venerable Sariputta listened to the discourse about Vedana carefully, and finally attain to full Rahanship with that, with all the skills. See how powerful these, what do you call, feeling as a meditation subject, it covers many aspects. So in order to, as I said, deal with fear, craving, you have to understand the feeling and stop nandirag on feeling or any desire. There you, make the changes in your chain, in your dhamma practice, because then the reduce of craving could be seen, and then the total ending of craving. So this is what feeling and craving also. As you see, Venerable Sariputta was explaining the tanha in 4 ways. Tanha, the way the tanha should be understood, and the way tanha rises should be understood, and the cessation, and also the path leading to the cessation. So tanha in the analysis is 6 classes of craving. So tanha has 6 things: Rupa tanha, Sabda tanha, Gandha tanha, Rasa tanha, Pottabha tanha, Dhamma tanha. The tanha for craving for seeing, craving for hearing, craving for taste, craving for smell. Likewise, craving is sixfold because of the place we created. We create tanha. So when you see something, you're going to like it quickly. That's called tanha. So then you hear something and then you have tanha. So soon after, together with the sensory experiences, feeling arises, and the origin of feeling is such. Then the cessation of tanha is also explained. Before that, with the arising of feeling, there is the arising of craving. With the cessation of feeling, there is the cessation of craving. The way leading to the cessation of craving is just this Noble Eightfold Path. I quickly go to the other one also. So tanha arises. Where suppose tanha is there. So soon after, or together with tanha, something else arises, that is called upadana, clinging. It is a very deep-rooted craving, I would say. Craving is more attached to senses, and craving is going to be liking something close to you, something with you. But when you go to the attachment, it is not visible like craving. They are very powerful thing. For example, Kam Upadana, the attachment to sensory experiences. So Kamupadana, by words we can understand, but it is happening with karma. When we open our eyes and we are going to like what we see, so that's karma. So Upadana means you attach to it very much. You don't want to go away from. You don't want to throw away from. You want to hold on to. You want to cling. Your mind is glue-like things when you have upadana. So upadana in many places has been explained by the Buddha and other monks as four upadana: kamupadana, dittyupadana, attvadupadana, then avijja kamupadana, attvadupadana, silabhatupadana, kamupadana, silabhatupadana, attvadupadana, dittyupadana. I think that is upadana, categories of upadana. You can correct me if I mention, if I miss something. So upadana, clinging, is such because our human mind is acted like that, because when craving is separated from each other, there you have the clinging also with different categories. So in the analytical part, Venerable Sariputta says upadana, here 4 kinds of upadana: clinging to sensual pleasures, kamupadana, clinging to views, the upadana is coming as the second, and then clinging to ritual, rites and ritual, and finally clinging to doctrine of self, I, me and myself idea. So you attach to it. So in order to break these 4 kinds of upadana: kamupadana, dittyupadana, attvadupadana, and then upadana for rituals. So you have to end. I think in terms of understanding the single aspect of Parishampada like this is much easier. I think better than Tanna, this is more working for us. Kam upadana, kind of attachment to what you experience. Ditthi upadana, you attach to your views, idea. There are I guess many of us have upadana, but very less. Since we engage with the Dhamma and other activities, we are able to manage it. But when it comes to average humans, they have the Tupadana. They say that no matter what happened to me, I know I never change my attitude. I never change my mind. I like that idea. So that is a type of upadana to your ideas, right? So your views. Okay, I'm so and so. I never change. So if things happen according to my wishes, I come. Otherwise, I know. So Attavad Upadana, Ditthi Upadana, all kind of Upadana present there. So one of the things we can do is to open up the information of Upadana and Tanha and have a better understanding. And when I say better understanding, it is not only through reading books or suttas, but it is through discussion and, of course, meditating on it so you can develop. So Upadana, Pacha above, I don't go to that particular thing today because it's too long. So Upadana, in one sense, is a cause for something, and it works as also a result of something. If you take two factors of Patichampada at once, you can finish one and go to the next one because they are related. So likewise, in the formula, you see the related things, but there are differences. So better you understand them in a different way. So the meaning and the way it functions. So these are the ways we need to work on. So basically now we have talked about Vedana, very simple thing, and then Tanna, whatever the Sutta says, and Upadana, again, whatever the Sutta says. By having this, I don't say that the entire concept of Patichampada on feeling, on craving and Upadana is discussed, but some light, were there to change, to work on, to do things so that feeling, Tanha, Upadana, should be understood with from various angles, particularly through meditation. So before we move forward, I would allow you to speak because there may be need for knowing the definition, maybe how it arises in mind, which way we can practically do something for it. There may be many things you think right now, so take your time to discuss. My job was to give very simple statement of three aspects of the Patichampada to see the Samadhi on that. Yes, doctor.
Interesting, Sutra Bande. I mean, this comes up a lot, like the Patichampada. There's a basis, like the backbone of the teachings of insight or right view or right understanding. Now, when you say like feeling leads to craving, I mean, there's a little bit more there to unpack, right? I mean, if you look at the Madhupindika Sutra, if you want to understand the mechanics, so when you, what you feel, you perceive, what you perceive, you think about, and what you think about, what you frequently think about, then becomes the inclination of your mind. Then that is prapanya, abhinandati, abhivadati, ajosayati, then nandi. So the craving. So craving itself is a thought process, right? Which result from the contact. But the craving, before the thought process, the feeling is the main bait, because even it's stronger than the perception, because that's why Buddha said, what you feel, you perceive, and what you perceive, you think about, right? So it's a primordial. I think the feeling is a very primordial than because of a response to survival, like we feel flight or fright response because of the feeling. So if you like, you think about, then you crave. I mean, you think about, clinging is part of thinking, right? We cling not with our hands, we cling with our thoughts, like repeated thoughts about the same object, and that becomes your clinging, and that's a stronger from the craving is happening there. So the clinging. Am I getting
Yeah,
it?
yeah, of course, that's very true. In my understanding, I agree to what you said. Uh, the teaching between the feeling and perception is really interesting. We see Vedana Sanya, feeling and perception always, not perception and feeling. So Vedana Sanya, Sanya, but when we come to verbalize, we say Sanya Vedana.
Mm,
But the very important thing is feeling, because what you perceive is coming from how you feel it.
mm,
So that's why when Venerable Sariputta mentioned the five nama, start with Vedana, Sanya, Chetana, Passa, Manasikara. In practical sense, what you have first is Vedana. For
then,
example, you are sitting and somebody, a cat come behind you and jump to your head or the shoulder. So first thing you get to know is kind of pain in your neck.
mm, mm,
So feeling, in the practical sense, feeling is the first thing you recognize. Suppose you are the behind you there is a candle,
mm,
and somebody get it closer to your neck, and you feel that heat. So, oh my goodness, burning. So something like that happened. So before you name it, before you recognize it, the feeling is arisen in your body. It happens even when you open your eyes. Suppose you are sleeping, you are in deep sleep. So one of your family members come and do something. So you open your eyes and the light is on, and so you open your eyes very hard. That is because of the feeling. So each senses, each senses produces feeling first, as you said, based on Madhyapindika Sutta, Chakkuncha Paticca Rupecha Uppajjati Chakku Vijnana. So the eye meets, Rupa. There you have uh, uh, eye consciousness with it, and meeting of these three is called contact. There, uh, the first thing before perception, feeling arises. It is a very fundamental thing. What you feel, how you feel, then perception is also working. Anyhow, feeling and perception uh, arise together. In order to say it, first we say feeling and
really.
then perception, but they are just like the two eyes.
Yeah.
When
And
you when
the
you
Paticcasamuppada, I mean, we don't talk about perception. It goes straight
yeah,
to feeling and craving, because
yes,
so
and
that is a,
perception is not an aggregate too. Feeling
yeah,
has
yeah,
become the
yeah.
yeah.
And with the clinging, you said the four types of clinging. The most the fundamental clinging is the clinging to a self, right? From
Yeah,
there, we self or the clinging to the other stuff, like for kama upadana, ditti, asila vruta. Like, but the self is the most primordial, the most the fundamental of the clinging to aggregates as a self, by aggregates as self.
true, true. Because if you deal with the Attvadupadana, which means self,
Mm.
so suppose attachment to self, attachment to I, me, and myself is then what you do is you attach to sensual pleasures.
Mm.
If you do not have clinging to self, you are not going to enjoy what
Yes,
you see, what you hear, and so forth. And you are not going to attach to rites and rituals. And
yes,
you are not going to attach to views, because you have broken down the self view.
mm.
As you rightly say, the very fundamental we, clinging is clinging to self.
Yeah. Third point I have to make is that's the final point about the impermanence. You said that the feeling itself is impermanent, but now I think there's a beautiful metaphor called Nanda Kovada Sutra. Nanda Kovada, that's a monk who talks to, I think, the bhikkhunis. He talks like, and I get a nice metaphor. He says, somebody is saying this lamp, the light coming from the lamp is permanent, but the wick is impermanent, the oil is impermanent, the lamp itself is impermanent. Is it possible? No, because if the wick is impermanent, the oil is impermanent, so what is produced, like the things that come to produce the light is impermanent. The light cannot be permanent. So in other words, Vedana is impermanent. Why? It's produced by all those factors, I consciousness coming together.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. So you know, the metaphor or the simile itself tells everything there, that every subparticles of the whole process is impermanent.
Yeah.
So the wicks and the oil and the metal used for lamp, and then so the light is a production of, it's a end results of meeting of all these three. So you see the light. Seeing is also condition, because for seeing you have an active eye, and it has an attachment to knowing part from your mind should attach to seeing, the eyes, then seeing could happen. And there you have the flame, and flame is because of the wicks and oil and the lamp, and there should be enough air for the flame to exist like that. So if you analyze everything from A to Z, you see that there are not only one cause is there, but many causes. So that theory of impermanence is very clear. If the theory of impermanence is coming from Paticcasamuppada, this is very important. Simply we say anicca is disappearing things. But when we go to the analysis of impermanence, it says rising and passing. We should be able to see the rising and passing of things, then it's called impermanence. But when we dive in to the subject further, we see how each subparticle, small particle, tiny particle come together to make a big one, and then the big one is going to be part of another one, and it goes to get results, and results is again becoming a cause for something else. So this is kind of never ending process. So that impermanent is nothing but seeing all these things. Of course, when you see the impermanence clearly, you cannot see self also, because self is also a conditioned thing. Sankara. Self is a sankara. So that the sankara means this arises with nothing but various causes, but because of various causes, and it goes away. It get to dissolve when the causes and conditions go. That is whole set is called sankara. So anicca, sankara, then self and deity, they are all connected together. Thank you for your insight. Now I see Sister Chandrani from Sri Lanka joined with us early in the morning for her. I think you are going to share something interesting too.
Yeah, whenever, sir, like when we learn that the senses bring in the rupa, and immediately we come to the point that it becomes the five aggregates. And in practical knowledge, Buddha has connected it with the four foundations of mindfulness, the five aggregates. First, we Kayanupassana, the Rupa, then Vedana, then Chitta, and Dhamma. So, this is an easier way to understand within us what is this clinging? What is this ditti? What is this? It comes up with the five aggregates. I think it's easier to understand rather than breaking it before, because all this happened immediately. As soon as we see something, it ends up with five aggregates. So I think Supreme Buddha showed us there's an easier way how to handle this situation practically with the four foundations of mindfulness. So this is the point I want to express.
Thank you
That
very much for your point and your insight. You are telling us that practicing for foundation of mindfulness is required to understand clearly the five aggregates of clinging. Yes, Kaya Anupasana. When you deal with Kaya Anupasana, definitely you are going to understand Rupa Kanda, the first aggregate of the five. There you also have the second aggregate Vedana Anupasana and Vedana Kanda also. And then perception, we of course talk about the perception as an aggregate, but inside together with feeling, we can include it. Then Sankara and Vijnana, they are discussing, about our mind, about our intention, about the kusala and akusala, about the way the initial application of mind works as Vijnana. So, of course, yes, the five aggregates of clinging, the very, very difficult part is attachment or the upadana four aggregates. So to take that upadana out from form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness, yes, you practice four foundation of mindfulness. When you practice four foundation of mindfulness, you practice, of course, you complete, I would say, the Noble Eightfold Path. We all know that when Noble Eightfold Path are being practiced in the sense of Four Noble Truths, you clearly see the five aggregates of clinging, and you can separate the aggregate, the attachment from aggregate. There you complete the whole, the other 29 factors of the 37 factors, because you practice for foundation, of course, for foundation of mindfulness, and then and the Noble Eightfold Path are being practiced together. That is recorded in Anapanasati, in Salayatana Samyutta. And if you take Anapanasati Sutta, you practice for foundation of mindfulness in and out breathing. When you complete when you gradually complete the four foundation of mindfulness, what you complete is the seven factors for enlightenment. So that you see that every bit of wholesome Dhamma connect with each other when one thing is started in our training. So I think you wanted to show us a clear and easy path for entering into Vipassana. And so I think it's very practical. It's very good. Thank you.
take one second.
Yeah. So try to think about these terms: Vedana, Tanha, Upadana. Even if you didn't study Pali, these are Pali terms. Now it has become English and singular terms as well. Still, the rich Dhamma is always with these Pali terms. So try to keep them in mind as they are. You take it and thought about it. We always consider this for the particular way of understanding Dharma: Sutta, Datta, Vachasa, Parijita, Manasanupekika, Ditya, Supativitta. First you hear, then you keep them in mind, in your memory. Then now you have safely stored them. Then you practice it with words. Okay, Vedana, Tanha, Upadana, feeling, craving, then clinging, then existent bhava, then birth, then chara marana, aging and death. So you are able to memorize, I would say, the lengths of Patichampada, the factors of the 37 factors. So for now, you can verbalize. First, you listen. Second, you remember them. Now you take them out and think. And Manasanupekika. Now the fourth step of learning is you think about it based on upadana, based on craving, based on tanna, how this is going to be in us, which way it is being seen by us. And if this is not good, the upadana, when upadana comes to be active, how and what we do, what kind of dharma Buddha has taught about upadana. So you manasanupekika, you usually, without using words, think about it. There you have the chance of ditya suppatividya, breaking through the self-view or delusion about self-view. So if you break the powerful wrong view by the use of by using of right view, samadhi, you have won the game. So that I think it's very important. Just like these good people say, you have to think, you have to find out a way to connect these teaching. Today we talk about feeling, craving, and then upadana. So see how we connect these three things to, by aggregates, and then we discuss single aspect, upadana, tanna, and so forth, and which way we need to practice dharma on with regard to the feeling, craving, and tanna. We discuss that. So that is what we expect from theory and practice of God. So the Buddha asked us means bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, upasika, fourfold disciple, to learn the Dharma. If you take the 9 limbs of the Buddha's teaching called Navanga Sattu Sasana, there the Buddha asks us to be masters on these texts, because there you have the text when you want to apply it. So the very important thing is to learn. Why? We can take them later and started thinking about it. So I think that is a piece of reminder that I like to tell. Take time, think about the concept, and make your way more clear towards peace and happiness. So is there anything you could add or you could ask? Remember, this is Paticcasamuppada. Samadhi, as you see, is not coming alone. Samadhi, according to Mahachattarisaka Sutta and elsewhere, is conditioned by. It is Sankata Dhamma. The whole Noble Eightfold Path is conditioned by. So if you do not have Noble Eightfold Path in your physical, verbal, and mental behavior, you incorporate it. Now you have it. Earlier you didn't have it. Now you have it. In the next day, you may be losing all the Noble Eightfold Path. Earlier it was in you. Now you don't have. So you see how fragile how breakable, how impermanent the Noble Eightfold Path in us too. The theory, there is the Buddha's teaching in the world, and one of the major teachings of the Buddha is Noble Eightfold Path. It is quite similar to each Buddhas from each era. So that is for sure kind of permanent. But the presence of Paticcasamuppada and also Samadhi in us is impermanent, because our mind is impermanent, our senses are impermanent, the way we think is impermanent. Then how could we have a permanent idea on something impermanent, right? So therefore we need to understand the Paticcasamuppada in Samadhi and also in other factors. There you complete your training very much, because Paticcasamuppada is the spirit of the Buddha's teaching. Even the Four Noble Truth have been discussed with the theory of Paticcasamuppada. Dukkha is there, we all feel it, right? So why dukkha arises and which cause the dukkha to arise is been discussed in the second truth, and the cessation of dukkha is discussed right after, because you see now dukkha as it is and the reasons for dukkha. So there you do not want dukkha to exist. You want to stop it. And which way you stop dukkha? This is the practice noble eightfold path. You see that Paticca spirit is working in the Four Noble Truth as well. Were you trying to say something?
Yeah, each one of these, like each factors, like end up getting rid of by the Noble Eightfold Path, the last one, right? Getting rid. So pretty much is the practice. That's a path, and that includes the right mindfulness, which is the four foundations of mindfulness, as well as jhana, because you need to write a samadhi as well, and then you get the insight, and then where there you let go. When you see the conditions are correct, they come together, and the conditions are gone, they are gone, and there's nothing in between. And that's the empty nature of every phenomena, impermanent.
True, exactly. So there are many avenues to go. Actually, do you see that the same dharma factor could explain in different ways? We can jump into the water from each side. The ocean is taken as the vast dharma, deep dharma, and when you go to the ocean, you can get into the water from different places. Likewise, a single dharma factor is could be explained in numerous ways, which is excellent. So this is one of the marvelous of the dharma, I would say. Thank you very much for your insight. And if you do not have any other things to discuss about feeling and then craving and upadana, we are happy to end today's session. I see something in chatting. Let me see what it is. Before we go, okay, some comments. Thank you very much. And if we as a team understand the dharma for benefit and everyone else, that is what we call doing kusala and doing merits. So participating in the discussion with wholesome thought create you kusala moment. So your effort is worthy, and everyone get benefits it. That's it. This is why the Buddha asked us to discuss the Dhamma with Kalyanamitta. I would say that this Sutta Studies is a meeting of Kalyanamitas, and the power of Kalyanamitta should be shared, and may they all develop Yoniso Manasikara as a result of Kalyanamitta, and may you all be able to have that those principles in them very much in you, and finally may you liberated from these clutches of suffering. With that in mind, I would end today's discussion. I would like to see you next week. Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.